So this is the tool, the Astro 1450, that I'm using for the plus nuts, and it's a really simple tool. So you have to put the right bit in that corresponds with the plus nuts you've bought, and you install it in this piece here at the top, in here, and then you just simply screw the plus nuts in. And I think the key thing is to make sure it's snugly tight with this nut here, so that when you push it in, that it properly squishes this piece here. So I can show you, I did a trial run before I tried this, and so you can see that it squishes it nice and flush. So then it creates a crimps, so it crimps up tight against the sheet metal in the frame when it's in like that. Let me do a demonstration here for you. Okay, so you just put it in here and pop it in, pull the vise back, unscrew it, done. Simple. So instead of building a frame to support my bed and garage, I've decided to support it from the wall. So I've used thicker plywood sheets to frame in the walls, and I'll show you here. So I cut out this sheet here. This is 3/4 inch birch plywood, and you can see that I've traced around the wheel well, and I'm gonna screw it onto the wall here using these plus nuts. So I'll show you how this works. So that's what the wall's gonna look like. So in order to know where to drill the holes to support to put the screws into the wall, I'm using these hanger bolts. So you screw them into the plus nut, and they have this screw on the end that is a sharp point, and you press the plywood against that, so it marks a spot on the other side of the plywood, and you drill in those spots. So you just insert them in here and screw them in. So I've now roughed in my one of the walls to the bed garage frame, the water tank, and the bike tray, just to see the dimensions, both width and length in the van, to figure out how long that wall needs to be to clear the rear tire of my bike. So I do have one cut to go before I assemble all these pieces. So this is the latest update. I've got my bike drawer in and the frame of the bed built, and I've got the walls, and I've roughed in the water tank just so you see how it fits. But the cool thing is the drawer. So bike drawer. What a hassle to build this baby, but wow, it's going to be great. So I haven't figured out where to put the front wheels yet. Tentatively, I've got them bungeed on the tray, but I'm worried about them banging around on bumpy gravel roads and so on, so I got to figure something out. But you can see I've got the half wall that supports 2x2s. I've got oak 2x2s that are really strong, and it's like I say, supported by the wall. But in order to clear the handlebars, I've had to put a little notch in the wall, and so the last support is unsupported. But you'll see what my fix is here. So I've roughed in a little piece that slots right in like that. And so it'll support that member on the wall. So the next thing is to put the platform on the bed and put the front wall on the garage there, and then hopefully put my fridge in. So it's pretty basic right now, but at least it's roadworthy for this first road trip. We can put our bikes away and we can sleep inside, and we can use this half for all our storage. The idea is to put a second storage tray on a slide here, and it'll slide all the way out. Let's look in from the side. So here's a different angle on it. So the garage cannibalizes a lot of the room, you can see. But there's, I think, 32, 33 inches headroom above the bed and 30 inches at the wall. And I'm going to punch out the wall to add a couple more inches on each side. Frame in a little bit of an extension in there. So the platform is going to go flush with these. And then the extension is going to go right behind here like this. So you can see I put the some masking tape on the floor to show where the things are going. I'm still moving things around here, but the fridge is going to go there, and then I'm going to have a bank of drawers, and then the porta potty is going to go right here, and then I've got the tentatively the kitchen, the sink is going to go right here, and again I've taped it in, but it's going to extend a little bit over in front of the sliding door here. So I see a lot of other guys do this, so it's a fairly conventional thing. And maybe use the space underneath here as a little cubby hole for shoes. The idea of the sink going here is I'm going to have fresh water in the tank here, but then I'm going to have my gray water come into a jerry can underneath the sink. Anyway, so I've got lots of work to do. I'm going to put my overhead fan in there. I still have to put some more insulation in, and all the electrical. So I don't have any plumbing or electrical yet, but that's next, to plug in the fridge. So that's the next big project, is to build a cabinet in here and install the fridge in there. So now I've got the bed platform installed, and so here's a view from the front of what it looks like, the bed and the bike platform. And so it's pretty rough right now, suitable for the first road trip. And I'm going to secure all of the load down with some bungees and some tie downs. Anyway, we can sleep on top of the bed and store the bikes below it. I recently went on a brief road trip to try out my roughed-in bed and bike drawer design, and decided to modify a little bit of my design. So I've moved my bike drawer to the left side of the van, and I've added slightly different bike anchors that actually work better, because there's a clamping thing and I don't have to worry about putting the pin in the front hub like that. I've moved the bike drawer a little bit further back, so it's given me another 5 inches of room in the interior of the van, which is a small and helpful improvement to the design. And I've glued on some Easy Cool insulation on the back of the wall to the garage, so you can see that this is the right side wall with the insulation glued on the inside, and that will separate the wood from the metal frame just above the wheel well there. Today I've just finished reconfiguring my bike tray for the underside of my bed, and I'll give you a look. So I decided to put in these, what I call the wheel boxes, slotted in the side of the bike tray, and they're custom fit to fit a 27.5 and a 29-inch wheel for my small and larger bikes, and they fit in just perfectly. You can see how the wheels slide right in like that. Sweet. So here's a brief van build update that I've made, the progress I've made up until now. So you can see that I've now got my bike drawer installed, and it's pretty slick. I've got my camping box drawer. I've got the water tank roughed in. I haven't done any of the plumbing or anything like that yet, so still have to do that. And I've made a little door at the end of the the front of the garage. So that's where my battery is going to go in there, and I'm going to have a little trap door to access the battery. I'm going to build some shelves in here later on, but I need to get this build ready because we're about to head off on our road trip down to Colorado. So anyway, I'll show you quickly how this works. Okay, so this is how the bike drawer works. I've got the fork anchors here that are really slick. They just close, clamp, done. I've installed a couple of wheel boxes for the 29-inch wheel at the back and the 27-inch here, and the two bikes just go right in here. And I've got some Velcro to cinch down the rear wheels just so that they don't pop around when I'm on these rough forestry roads. So that's that is so sweet. So this one works virtually the same way. Slides out, it's a little shorter, so it gives me room for the battery at the back. And I'll show you inside. So from this side, what it looks like. And the fridge and the porta potty and a set of drawers and the sink and the kitchen counter is going to go right here. So I've taped it all down so you can see sort of where things go. So I've taken the fridge out of the box. I got a NovaCool 3800. I think it's about the right size for 3 days worth of frozen goods and fresh fruit and so on. And so here's the fridge box, and you see I've laid it out here. The back panel, the two sides, the bottom and the top, and I have to put a couple inch gap in the bottom so that the thing ventilates from the bottom as well as out the side. So I'm going to put a little notch in the left side here so it can vent out into the garage. I'll have to cut a hole over in the garage as well. So I'm about to put this thing together. I'm going to use the Craig pocket hole jig. You can see over here, I haven't even taken it apart yet. I got the screws and I got a clamp, and I'm about to connect those 5 pieces. That's it for now, folks.